Why did you become a teacher?
I became a teacher because of my passion for learning. I get pleasure from enabling students to develop academically and realize their learning goals. Teaching and shaping members of the next generation gives me a great sense of pride. As a teenager, I was helped and guided by many fantastic teachers. An example is my English teacher, whose commitment to teaching I admired. She not only helped me excel academically, but also taught me many valuable life lessons. These experiences played a key role in my pursuit of a career in teaching.
What is your teaching philosophy?
My philosophy as a teacher is to give knowledge with a practical approach. If the children understand what is the use or significance of what they are learning, they will retain it better. Also, I prefer to engage students with the lessons instead of a one-ended flow of lessons, which has its own advantages in many cases. Using multimedia is also preferred by me since it raises engagement in the classroom and helps everyone interact better.
What can you bring to our school that makes you unique?
I love science and exploring the natural world beyond the borders of the classroom. For that reason, I started an after-school explorers club at my last school. We would go on nature hikes, visit museums, and invite local scientists and biologists to come speak to us about what they're working on and their research. The response was overwhelming. And I have students who still come up to me years later and tell me how much they loved our club and how it helped inspire them to pursue careers in the sciences. I would be very interested in continuing the legacy of the Explorers Club here.
What is your educational background?
I completed a BSc and B.Ed integrated course from Imperial College, Chennai in 2016. I studied a range of science stream subjects there, with a focus on chemistry, in which I graduated with distinction.
How would you handle a student you found difficult to teach?
For me, the first step would be to pull them aside and talk about the issue privately. My main questions would get at the root cause of this student's behavior. Once I know that, I try to work with them to come up with a solution. I used this strategy in my last classroom, where I had a student who couldn't seem to stay in his seat during lessons, and I found out that sitting still too long made him feel confined and nervous. We talked about how his behavior affected the rest of the class. And we agreed that, when he was feeling really anxious, he could raise his hand and I'd let him take a lap around the classroom. But only when it was appropriate. I also decided to make some of my lessons more active and hands-on so that other students could benefit from getting out of their seats every once in a while.
How do you motivate students?
Positive reinforcement is super important to keep a student motivated. So one thing I like to do is throw out rewards or bonuses when they perform especially well. This could be candy, or a star, or a sticker, or even just a compliment. Whatever I can tell students enjoy receiving, and it's different for everyone. I never want students to feel left out or favored, so I always try to be fair and consistent with every. But it's those little moments of recognition I think that keep them happy and excited to learn.
How do you handle a parent that blames you for a child's poor performance?
If a parent feels I'm responsible for a child's poor performance, my main goal is to remain calm and professional during the conversation. After ensuring they feel heard, I concentrate more on working with them to find a solution than anything else. It's not about placing blame. It's about developing a plan that'll help their student thrive. By maintaining that mentality, I find that most parents will pivot, allowing us to dive into the challenges the student is facing and how we can help them together.
How have you used, or how will you use, technology in the classroom?
In my last classroom, the students used tablets to create and manage their own website, which proved to be a great tool for communicating with parents and allowing them to see the daily activities their kids participated in.
How would you connect with the parents, and how would you communicate with them?
With the advancement of technology, there are multiple ways to stay connected with parents. There are online teaching apps and communication apps that let teachers stay connected with students' parents. You can also talk about parent-teacher meetings and how you would ensure to build a strong community and establish rapport with them.
What is your teaching style?
I start preparing my notes a week prior to starting a classroom lesson. During this week, I populate the classroom with interesting visual material and infographics related to the subject matter. This way, my students can familiarize themselves with and develop queries about the subject before the classroom sessions start.
Why should we hire you to teach here?
I'm well aware of your new technology initiative. We were tasked with the same challenge at my last school. Thanks to my strong tech background, I was able to add online quizzes easily. The students loved them, and they cut administrative processing by 25%.
How do you evaluate students?
I believe each individual has a unique set of strengths and areas for improvements. Thus, the comprehensive and inclusive approach to teaching helps me identify them. Based on it and the personal counseling, I like to evaluate students on how much they can and have improved on them in a given time. I also like to keep myself in the picture since it's also my responsibility to help them with it.